Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. I'm your host, Michael Tabor. So I'm going to do kind of a fun one here. People who follow me and know me know that I'm a huge Tim Ferriss fan. I also love Joe Rogan and I love Sam Harris as well. So those three people, what do they have in common? Is it they all have podcasts. They all practice martial arts. Yes and yes, but they're all short. They're small in stature. So, this video here, the topic, the Napoleonic Complex. Height. Does this really bother men? Not so much women, it's more of a man thing. And do short men seem to have more of a drive? Something to prove, right? The Napoleonic Complex. So, anyway, by the way, I love all those guys. I love Sam, love Joe, Tim. And so, anyway, I'm not the only person thinking about these things, of course, on the internet. So, I come to an article by The Hustle. It's called How Tall is Tim Ferriss? Okay. There's a whole, I don't know if you can see that with the light. Okay, so there's a whole article here. And let me show you some pictures. And he was, there's a picture taken of Tim and Tony Robbins. Now, take a look at this. I mean, look at that. Now, Tony Robbins is 6'7". By the way, he had a thyroid condition in high school or something on his pituitary gland. There's a whole story about Tony Robbins. So not only is he taller, it's just he's just a bigger man. Like, look at the head size. Tim, so there's a whole article here, and here's with Seth Rogen. He looks sort of normal. And even here with Glenn Beck, it's like Tim, like I know his weight is around 160-ish, 165, 170, so he's not a tiny man, but I think his frame is tiny. And if you listen to Tim, here he is with Arnold. If you listen to Tim, he was born prematurely, and he was the runt of the litter, if you will. And here he is with Jamie Foxx and all this. So let me start with Tim. I love Tim to death, and if there's anything there's anything that annoys me about him is that he's too perfect. I don't know if that's the right word. I mean, he's not a perfect man, but he's brilliant, he's rich, he's handsome in his own way, kind of, he's bald, but he's a handsome guy, and he's such a nice man. He's a sweetheart, it's like Tim. Like, when I listen to his podcast, he's like my best friend, and I kind of like, he has it all. He's kind of too perfect, and I kind of have, I don't know if it's a Schadenfreude when I look at this. I go, all right, let me get back to this. All right, maybe he doesn't have it all. Now let me to stick with Tim. I found something on YouTube to just show you how small Tim really is. He's with two supermodels, and I'm going to play a little bit of this clip. I never heard of these models, but Seven Alessandra and Brosia, Victoria's Secret lives. Now, check out Tim. He looks like a hobbit here. Here we go. Not to be mean, I love Tim, but here we go. Ready?
Most restaurants, this is how the chef looks mostly. Yeah. But you look gorgeous.
Look how small
Ali,
Tim
the
looks.
fashion show this year, you have quite an honor because you are wearing the fantasy bra.
Yes.
So just tell us about it's in the closing section of the show.
Yeah, it's Angels in Bloom. And I actually got the call 3 weeks after I had my second baby, which was 6 months ago. And I'm like breastfeeding, and I'm like, what? I get to wear the fantasy bra this year? And they're like, yes. So I was like, oh my God, I looked down, I'm like, how much jewelry they're gonna need to cover all this? And like, how am I gonna get ready? So it was a great way to, go back in shape and get in that runway.
It's such an inspirational story to hear all of you that have had all these young women having young children and then getting back to work as quickly as you can because that's your passion.
It is, yeah.
Okay, there you go. The 4-hour body, the 4-hour work week, the investment banker. He's tiny compared to those women. I mean, little Schadenfreude now. I love Tim. So And then Joe Rogan too. Rogan they're like the same size, but Rogan's like built like a bowling ball. Rogan can kick fucking ass, and Tim is tough. Obviously, Tim is tough too. He was nationals wrestling. I mean, these are tough men. I don't know about Sam Harris. I mean, Sam is pretty much just an intellectual, although he is into jiu-jitsu a bit. So let me ask this and pose this question: does it really matter? A couple of days ago, our stupid president tweeted out Mini Mike Bloomberg. Mini Mike. That's fucking gross, man. I mean, that is disgusting. But anyway, I digress. So I have some good friends who are short, and it does bother them. In fact, my jujitsu teacher, by the way, I'm 6'2", so I don't have that. Although I was small growing up, but I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", 200 pounds. So anyway, getting back to my jiu-jitsu teacher was Matt Serra, none other than Matt Serra, a former welterweight world champion, and Matt is short. Matt is I mean, really, like, built like a fucking pit bull and could fucking destroy me in 2 seconds. Like, literally, like, it's just ridiculous to even think about even being in the same space as Matt Serra. He's just would crush me. But I know, although he would admit it, to me, I know it bothered him. It bothers people, It's like this Napoleonic complex. And it's a good and bad thing because it does give you this drive. I mean, take a look at Tim. I don't know. I Googled it. I think Tim's worth $150 million. He's a best-selling author. He's a freaking awesome guy, and he has this drive. Look at Joe Rogan. And then, I don't know. I don't think about it. I don't think about it because I don't have that issue. So what do you think, people? The Napoleonic Complex, being short in men, do women mind that their guy may be this? Or I'm just curious. Napoleonic Complex, is it real or not? Good friends, good books on a sleepy conscience, peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk.